Hello everyone, my name is Suhail Ahtesham. I am Assistant Professor in Management Studies. Welcome to my ninth lecture on the subject Management Process and Organizational Behavior. In today's lecture, we will be discussing on the topic Bureaucracy Theory by Max Weber as a classical theory of management, in which we will discuss introduction, feature or characteristics, advantages and limitations of bureaucracy theory. We all know bureaucracy theory is the subcategorization of classical theories, and classical theories are related to maximum productivity in the organization by effectively utilization of human and non-human factors. So, today we will be discussing all this bureaucracy theory in detail. Let's start. Bureaucracy theory by Max Weber. Introduction. Bureaucracy theory is introduced by Max Weber, who was a German sociologist. This theory is also known as bureaucratic model, bureaucratic approach, or rational legal model. Bureaucracy is an administrative system designed to accomplish large scale of administrative tasks by systematic coordinating the work for many individuals. His theory is based on precisely defined rules, laws, and administrative regulation. So, here we can see bureaucracy theory is introduced by Max Weber, who was a German sociologist. Bureaucracy theory is also known as bureaucratic model, bureaucratic approach, and rational legal model. And it is basically the study of an effective organizational development, and for basically the improve the administrative system in the organization so that the manager can effectively use the factors of production, the human and non-human factors in the right way for systematic coordination, right, for getting a systematic output in the organization, right. So his theories are based on some well-defined rules, laws, and administrative regulation that has to be followed by every employee working for the organization. In particular, Weber notified three aspects that constitute the essence of bureaucratic administration in a formal organization of public and private sectors. The three aspects that form a bureaucratic system are: first, a rigid division of labor that clarity identifies regular tasks and duties of every employee. Second, rigid regulations to follow the chain of command, which defines the hierarchy of work. Third, and the last, hiring qualified people with technical competence. So, basically here, according to the bureaucracy theory of Max Weber has given three aspects of bureaucracy theory, so that the administrative system can be improved and there may be systematically coordination between the manpower and the non-living things in the organization, so that the organization can achieve the organizational goals in the right way. So these three aspects are: there must be rigid division of labor, right? There must be proper division of work in the organization, and there must be well defined of the duties, that who is responsible for which job, right? What are the roles and responsibility of each employee, that has to be properly determined and defined in the organization, right? By division of work and division of labor in the organization. Next, rigid rules and regulation that has to be followed, right? There are certain rules and regulation which are very rigid and inflexible in nature, that has to be followed by every employee working in the organization, maybe at any level, maybe at three levels: top level, middle level, and low level. Maybe at any level, the manager or the subordinate or any employee of the organization has to follow certain rules and regulations which are fixed in nature, which are rigid in nature, and every employee has to follow it for survival in the organization, right? Last, hiring qualified people with technical competence, right? So this is very sensitive part, because the employees we hire for the organization will work on for a long run for achievement of our organizational goals and wants. So there must be a proper staffing function in the organization. There must be a specialized person working for the organization, and there must be a merit list so that according to the merit list we may hire the employees in the organization which who have the technical competence, which have the capabilities and efficiency of working in the right way in the organization, right? So this is all about the bureaucracy theory, the introduction of bureaucracy theory. Next, features and characteristics of bureaucracy theory. First feature is specialized roles due to division of work. Right. This is the first characteristic in which if there will be implementation of bureaucracy theory in the organization, then there will be proper division of work in the organization, and the roles will be specialized. The roles and responsibility will be well determined by every employee working in the organization. Right. Next, recruitment based on merit and technical competence, right? So every employee working for the organization or at the staffing level itself, we have to recruit the person on merit basis, who are technical competence, who are efficient, who are effective to performing their works, to devoting themselves for organizational development, right? Third, uniform principle of placement, promotion, and transfer of administrative system. Now it is related to there must be no partiality in the organization, in the any department among the employees, right? So there must be uniform or same principles or same rules has to be applied for each employee in respect to placement, promotion, and transfer of the employee from if needed in the organization, right? So there must be no partiality among the employees. Next, fair remuneration, right? We have to pay the employees and workers according to the how much we take the work from them and what has been decided at the time of recruitment, right? So there must be a fair remuneration process, and it is also related to payment of bonus, incentives, and other benefit to the employees if they are applicable and if they are applicable for it, right? Next, hierarchy, responsibility, and accountability, right? By proper this theory, bureaucracy theory, proper implementation of bureaucracy theory will well define the hierarchy in the organization, and which the hierarchy, the three levels again: top level, middle level, and low level. This is the hierarchy. If the person at low level management want to communicate to the top level management, then they have to first communicate with the middle level management. They cannot communicate directly, right? So they have to the low level manager has to communicate the middle level manager, and then the middle level manager will communicate the top level manager. This will be the hierarchy, right? So if there is proper implementation of bureaucracy theory in the organization, there will be a hierarchy, proper hierarchy process, and responsibility about the working of the organization, right? That how much work and who is responsible for what task, right? And the accountability is something which is related to the work performs in the organization by the manpower, right? That according to some specified time that work has been performed in the right way or not. If not, why? No, that is related to accountability, right? So there may be a specified hierarchy, responsibility, and accountability in the organization if we implement this bureaucracy theory in the organization, right? Next, strict rules of discipline and control, right? According to Max Weber, there must be some specified rules and regulation that has to be followed by every employee in the organization, and there must be a discipline. And discipline will be if there will be some rules and regulation, right? There must be some formal rules and regulations, and the supervisor at every level should monitor the subordinate and control the subordinate that all are following the discipline and rules and regulation that has been imposed from the managers, and that has been imposed from the top level to the business, to the organization for their employees, right? So there must be some strict rules and regulation that has to be followed. Next, impersonal authority, right? It is related to formal relation between among the employees working in the organization, right? Bureaucracy theory is the part of the classical theories, and classical theories is related to maximum productivity, right? And it is not related to human relations. So that's why here bureaucracy theory in this feature there must be an impersonal authority, impersonal or formal relation among the employees who are working in the organization for a common objective, right? There must be a formal relation, formal for every employee and employer, right? Next, proper maintenance of record. According to Max Weber, there must be proper maintenance of record. Each and every record, each or every working of the organization should be mentioned, should be noted, and should be proper record keeping in the organization about each and everything which has been done in the organization, so that in future also we can also take the reference from the past, that what happenings has been occurred, and how we have treated those happenings, and it can be helpful to the manager for the further future decisions, right? So there must be proper record keeping and proper maintenance of records in each and every department for functioning, right? So these are the various features and characteristics of the bureaucracy theory. Coming to the next, advantages of bureaucracy theory. First, specialization. Specialization is related to some specific or specialized tasks to perform, right? This is the advantage. This is the first advantage, that if we implement the bureaucracy theory in the organization, then the task may be specified in a systematic manner, and every person must know, every employee must know that what he has to perform, what functions and what roles he has to perform in the organization for the organizational development, or what are the do's and don'ts in the organization, right? So there must be a specialization. Structure is related to specifying the duties and responsibilities and reporting relationship within the command of hierarchy, right? So in a formal structure, there are some duties and responsibility. There are some rules and regulations. There are some foundations in the organization, right? They have to be followed, and there are well defined structure, right? In which we all know that who is working at which level, and what are the roles and responsibility of what designation, and who is responsible and accountable for what working, right? So they are well defined structure in the organization. So this will be the advantage, second advantage. Third, rationality. Rationality is related to the quality of being able to think sensibly and logically, right? If we implement this bureaucracy theory, it will be the advantage that at any level there will be the employees who will think in a positive way. We will think and ensure, and the criteria for decision making for day-to-day functioning will be improved, right? Next, predictability. Predictability is related to stability of the organization. Stability of the organization, it means if there are certain rules and regulations, there is a proper fixed structure in the organization, then we all know that this will be the structure, and these are our goals, and this is our objective, and we have to perform in this way. So all things are well defined. So in these terms, we can say that it will help the organization, and the organization will predictable, right, about the future, right, about it is simplifying of the complex thing into a simpler manner, right? So it is predictable in nature. Next, democracy. Democracy is related to guided by the prescribed rules, policies, and practice rather than prevail treatment, right? So here democracy is related to every employee, every official is guided by the prescribed rules. There are some specific rules and regulations that has to be followed by every level, and these rules are imposed by the top level authorities to the employees working in the organization, and all have to follow these rules and regulations in a right way, right? So there are emphasis on the qualification and technical competence will make the organization more democratic, right? If the person are well qualified, and the person is competent, it means the skillful person, the technical person, and the qualified person, right? So he will be more democratic in his terms, and as he know what are the do's and don'ts, he know his rules in the organization, and he is qualified, he is competent, he know what to do, how to do, then now he will do it in the right way, right? So this is all about the advantages. Coming to the next, the limitation of bureaucracy theory. First is rigidity. So basically, as in bureaucracy theory, there are certain fixed rules and regulations which have to be followed by every employee working in the organization, maybe at supervisory level or subordinative level. So there will be some rigidity in the organization, right? Also, if some rules and regulations are imposed, then there will be a discourage initiative and creativity in the organization. It will create, the employees will stop them thinking about if there will be any creatively or any other way of working in the organization, because there are certain rules and regulations that has been imposed from the superior to them, right? So there will be a lack of creativity in the organization through. So this is the first limitation of this bureaucracy theory, that there will be lack of creativity because of rigidity of the terms, right? Next, impersonality. Impersonality is related to organizational rules and regulations are given priority on the basis, right? Here there are impersonal, it means there are formal relations among the employees in the organization, and organizational rules and regulations are given priority, and the human relations are the secondary thing in bureaucratic theories or classical theories. So here, this is the limitation, this is the drawback of bureaucracy theory, that human relations are totally ignored in it, right? Next, paperwork. In bureaucracy theory, there is a lot of paperwork and excessive wastage of resources. The resources, time, stationery, space of keeping these records, right? And excessive paperwork. So these are the limitations. Next, compartmentalization of activities, which is related to, if the supervisor has assigned certain work to the subordinate, and those subordinate will be able to perform this particular specific work in the long run as well, right? There will be no shifting of job, right? There will be no job rotation in the organization. So it will make a compartmentalization of the employees, that the particular employee is only efficient in his particular field, right? So there may be no job rotation in the organization, which may cause a compartmentalization of the activities in the organization, right? So this is the limitation. The next, red tape. Red tape is related to unnecessary delay and frustration among the employees because of a long chain of command, because of formal relations, because of many hierarchy of levels which has to be passed on for taking the decision for moving on in the organization, right? So there may be frustration and unnecessary delay in the all the activities performed by different level in the organization, right? So these all are the various limitations of bureaucracy theory. Hope you have understood about bureaucracy theory and bureaucracy model in detail. And for more related videos, do like, share and subscribe my channel. And thanks for watching my lecture. Have a nice day.